Hello, my friends. So, I welcome you all in the love and in the light of the one Creator. So, today's session, I have asked Metatron Magnetic Consciousness about how we can manifest our desires. Now, I know that there are many other, you know, people have already made videos on manifestation, but this is a different kind of video. As you will see in the message, Metatron tells us how we can actually manifest our desires using what he calls the thought forms. Now, I think that these thought forms are the same used by the beings known as Ra, who came here on Earth approximately 11,000 years ago, and they built the pyramids using the same thought forms. So Metatron has explained in detail what are thought forms, and as you will hear in the session which will start in a moment, and also he has given us something that we can do during the full moon, because right now 26th and 27th April there is going to be a unique pink full moon. So he has given us something we can do during the full moon in order to activate our inner self, and I think it is going to help you all a lot. So once again, I thank you all so much for watching the video, and here is the session. After the session, I am going to give you a brief explanation of what I understood from the session. So here is the session.
I am Metatron Magnetic Consciousness, and I greet you again in the divine love and light of the Light Grid Programmer. Before I start sharing my thoughts, please remember that you have free will, and your free will is of utmost importance for me to preserve. Hence, use your discernment when listening to my messages. Today, this instrument desires to understand how to manifest or create physical manifestations in this beginning phased fourth density planet. As known by this instrument, the cycles of transformation are upon your planet at these times, which signifies the changes in consciousness on your planet. These new planetary shifts are now beginning to activate many dormant abilities within your people of the so-called manifestations and creation. In essence, each is the divine grid programmer. However, through the process of incarnation, each has forgotten about these innate abilities of creation. Creation is a part of the consciousness that encompasses each being in the cosmos. Consciousness is the creator of all that exists in essence. Consciousness creates your reality. For any entity on your planet to create physical manifestations, whatever it may be, can be achieved via the use of consciousness and thought forms. However, many on your planets have not understood that consciousness is the attention that resides, which enables each to feel its bodily parts and other parts if it so desires. Further, the desires of creation depend on the lack that any particular entity is facing. An entity who has everything it desires would not have any new desires. However, many on your plane do not have it all, and hence desire is the creation of this energy to create new physical materials. Let me tell you in simple terms, the connection is simple. Your thought forms, if projected on by your consciousness or attention, will be created instantly on another plane, that of the sixth density plane as known by this channel. Your attention of consciousness creates new materials, and physical manifestations are the same results of this attention of consciousness on thought forms. In essence, this is how, when the ones known as Ra came upon your planet and created the so-called pyramids, since I and many other beings, including these beings known as the Ra Confederation, are already in the sixth density, creation is easy for us. We just project our attention or consciousness on any thought form and it will occur instantly. And for the purpose of distortion that you call example, let me presume that I was to incarnate onto your planet into a human mind-body complex. Then for me to create the reality would need to focus my attention of consciousness on the thought forms, which are a combination of the sixth senses with your five senses. The sixth sense is also referred to as your imagination by your kinds. And thereby, after creating this connection between all the six senses in the mind, project out the attention onto this image for a period of time. During such moments of time wherein the eyes are closed or shut, this will cause the consciousness to project outward into thought form, and it will soon begin to take shape in another plane. It will immediately be created in the sixth density plane. However, for it to be seen on the fourth density planet as your timeline is on now, will require an approximate germination period. This could be considered similar to the time taken for a seed to germinate or a baby to be born, depending on the complexities of the manifestation and thought form. It will be created in time-space. Let me give you a better understanding of what are thought forms. These are those forms that are the combination of the basic three things that are required for any form of creation. One is the imaginative self, that is in essence the astral self when one ponders upon it from the first-person view. Inside the mind of such an entity, the combination of the imaginative form with feelings and emotions and sound will create the basic thought forms necessary for any manifestation to occur on your planets. Let me give you an application of these so-called thought forms in your time-space plane that upon application by your people or by you would lead to creation of so-called physical manifestations. This instrument possesses a so-called mobile phone upon which it, using its free will, may set up the so-called alarms for at least 3 times during the waking day, during which on each alarm would be inserted the message of congratulations, of success upon which would be encountered on the manifestation of its desires accomplished on the physical plane. And on receiving such alarms during the time-space upon which they will appear on its so-called mobile phone, applying the thought form projections and seeing the physical embodiment of its desires and feeling the joy and happiness upon receiving it, or the satisfaction that would accompany it, and also projecting upon this the sound distortion which can be equated to the voice that can be heard inside your mind. This sound distortion can also be verbalized. However, doing so would cause many other entities on your planet to perceive you otherwise. This accompanied by the application of consciousness projection onto thought forms of desired distortion during the times when your eyes remain shut, such as during resting times or sleep times, would aid in the creation of these thought forms into reality faster. If you can understand this concept of thought forms, of which we have explained in much detail today, you will know that the thought form is more regular in its distortion than the energy fields created by the materials in the physical world, which are all created through thought forms. Thought forms to finite energy in the sixth density, followed by their germination and appearance onto your planet. The physical world is in essence a delayed reflection of your thought forms. If an entity realizes this, then it would cause such an entity to understand that the creation of the Creator is within. Further, I would like to state that there have already been many entities upon your planet who understood the use of these thought forms. And now, let me tell you that tomorrow starts the so-called full pink moon in Scorpio, which means that it is a special time of gratitude for all. Gratitude is the key that opens up the highest vibration of your people. I know that gratitude is mostly forgotten by many of your kinds. However, it is extremely powerful, and by being grateful, you will invite more of the things that you are grateful toward. It is a type of cyclic energy into the core of your being. Whatever you are gratitude towards will immediately start to appear on your timelines. Therefore, on these 2 days of 26th and 27th, be grateful for all you have in your life. Be grateful for your family and health, and be grateful for the moon's existence. This is a very auspicious day for your people on the planet. Show gratefulness, and you will receive the rewards in full return. Therefore, I leave you now in the divine love light of the divine grid programmer, the one creator, and turn to the mountain of light, Kairon. Bye.
So now I'm going to give you a brief explanation of what I understood from the session. Obviously, like everyone will have a different understanding, but what I understood is that whenever we are using thought forms, Metatron has said that thought forms are a combination of all the six senses. We have already the 5 senses, which are smell, touch, hearing, seeing, etc. And the 6th sense is imagination, as per Metatron. Okay. And whenever we are using our 6th sense in combination with all the other senses, that is a thought form. So also one more thing you need to understand is in the session, Metatron is saying that whenever we are using our imagination from the first person perspective, right, which usually happens in our dream state. If you notice this, whenever you see a dream, you are always in the dream in first person perspective, as if it was happening to you. So we need to use the thought forms in a similar manner. We need to see the thought forms or use our imagination from the first person perspective, right? And then we need to combine that with sound and with like conversation. It could be a conversation. For example, you want money, right? Let's say we want to manifest money, then we would first see it using our thought form, using our imagination. We will see the money, and then we will feel it, or we can even smell it using the senses, and then we will have a conversation, an imaginary conversation, maybe with your friend, like, wow, isn't it wonderful, I got a lot of money now, we are rich now, right? You could have a conversation like that. And by doing this, Metatron is saying that it will immediately create the desire in the 6th density. So we are in the 4th density. For the desire to come from the 6th to the 4th, it will take a little bit of time, but it will happen. And Metatron has also stated that we can also use so-called alarms on our phone, which we can use as a reminder during the daytime. So for example, we want to manifest a successful career. We can write, "Congratulations, I have successfully found a wonderful job." Or I can write, "I have successfully won $1,000 from somewhere." So whenever you make an alarm during the daytime, and whenever it pops up, you just see the alarm, and then at that time just close your eyes and then use your thought forms and visualize yourself having it. This is what Metatron is saying. Visualize yourself having it, and then you can you make a sound, like you can be happy. "Yeah, I just made it," right? You can do that. And Metatron is also saying that to make the sound in your mind, because if you make it outside, people will think you are a bit different. Okay. And that is what I understood from the session. And also very important, I understood, is during the super full moon, which is occurring right now, we need to use gratitude. Very, very powerful. I mean, I'm so thankful, like for all of you. I'm using it right now. And I thank you all for being a part of this. I send you love and light to you and to your family. And we will see again. Bye.